Hi guys, and welcome to MicroStrategy Connect for December. We're pumped to have you here. If you haven't been here before, Connect is our live series where we go behind the scenes with tech, engineering, sales, design, all the teams to get the exclusive on product. And today is our holiday episode, and we're talking about what's new for December. So we have an incredible new lineup of innovative features, and we're so ready to share them today. So I'm Holly, and we're going to do some introductions of our product managers here today. So let's start, Muna. Let's start with you.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. My name is Muna. I'm a product manager with the platforms team here at MicroStrategy.
Erica?
Hi, everyone. My name is Erica Moreno, and I'm a product manager for everything related to Workstation.
Hey, everyone. My name is Jose Noceral. Excited to be here. I lead a product management team here at MicroStrategy.
Awesome. A great lineup of PMs. I'm super excited to have you guys. And we always kick off the Connect series with a lightning round of questions before we get into the good stuff. So let's do it. We're going to give them a few fun questions. First, what's your favorite product feature being released in December?
It's all of the same order. Muna.
So one of my favorite products just in general at MicroStrategy is platform analytics. And in the latest release, 11.3.8, we have expanded capabilities with PA, in particular under our client telemetry. And so the expansion of the subject areas around content consumption, around device utilization is really interesting. I think it expands storytelling capabilities and the power of platform analytics for customers, and that's really, really cool.
Good. Well, for me, it's something that might seem super small, but it's very useful, and that is user duplication.
Yep.
So that's like for admins, it's a big thing.
That's an interesting pick. I don't know, Holly. I don't know if I have a favorite. I mean, there's so much stuff that we added to the product in this release. If you force me to pick an answer, I would say that the ability to configure emails using applications. I think that's the one that really excites me the most for this release.
I like all the answers. They were all very on brand for each of you, I think. It was good. Good answers. All right, number 2 question in the lightning round for the holidays. Vacation or staycation?
Oh, that's tough. I'm going to give a cop-out answer for that. I'm saying both, but hear me out. I think also everybody on the panel has family outside of the US. And so the opportunity to just move away from the winter months, go to loved ones in warmer climates, and then have a staycation there. Just enjoy good food and the great company would be my choice.
I have the same answer. That was going to be my answer as well.
That's a good one.
Okay. So I'm going to have to be the original one here. I don't know. Like, I would say that to me it would be vacation. Yes, 100% agree. Like going to visit family and, get together for the holiday season. Yes, that's definitely, something that I'm looking forward every year. But then, like, for example, I'm traveling like, in a few days, and then from there, I'm going to be traveling with my family. Exactly. So it's like vacation on vacation. Yes.
Mix thing.
All right. So everyone's kind of like a both. All right, cool. Number 3 question in the lightning round. If you're just joining, if you could have access to any data set, what would it be and why?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, data is really powerful in very specific contexts. So I'll give a specific scenario. Holly, I think you know this. I'm a huge Formula One fan. And so the opportunity to get race data over the Grand Prix weekend would be really, really interesting. And just for context for everybody, over the race weekend, the teams get data from, they'll just get data on like other teams' pace, tire degradation, tire performance, and they have to analyze that data and do simulations to figure out what the strategy should be over the race weekend. So if you watch motorsports, you know that a fast car, a great driver, and a great strategy is what gets you the Grand Prix win. So access to that would be phenomenal.
Yeah. I was going to say also like sports. But mine was more about like the World Cup data. Like now that we have all of these events happening and just like to be able to I mean, I know that there's some data out there, but to be able to exploit that data and make sure that you get like all the statistics and everything, I mean, of course, that's going to help you out to pick the winner for the World Cup. So.
Okay, so two things. I didn't know that you were a big F1 fan.
Huge.
That's awesome. Second, since Erica actually chose Muna's answer for the previous question, then I'm going to be picking Erica's answer. Because my answer, yes, was going to be World Cup. I think that there's a lot of data that previously we didn't have. There's a lot of IoT. There's a lot of AI, happening to predict new things, to see, how the teams are doing. Like, to me, getting a data set that is containing all the data and do some analysis on it, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I think both make sense. I feel like sports is a big answer for everyone. You just want to know what the other teams are doing. All right. And number 4 of 4. So we went data, holidays, data, another holiday question. Do you have any special holiday meals or recipes that your family or you do?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. So my focus for any holiday meals is typically the dessert section. I think dessert like makes or breaks the entire meal. And I'm a huge fan of Indian sweets. So I think any gulab jamun or jalebi in there at any holiday occasion would be great. So not my recipe, but for like just general food.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's also desserts. I was going to choose apple salad. Like there's like these kind of traditional recipe that is just like, it's kind of healthy, but it's like sweet, and then you have like the sweet milk for the salad, and you have like marshmallows, and then you can put either nuts in there and pineapple. It's like so good. I can eat like the whole bowl of the salad by myself.
Okay, if he has marshmallows, it's not a salad.
I know, but it's like
pretty interesting.
Salad. I don't know how to explain it.
All right. For me, is this like beans recipe that my mom and grandmom, like they've been cooking for the past, I don't know, since I was little. And it's something that actually I'm a big fan of. And in fact, like my mom was here for Thanksgiving and she prepared like this big casserole of beans. And I don't know, it was awesome. So maybe, that's the recipe that I'm looking forward to.
Nice. Awesome. All right. So if you're just joining, we finished our fun questions, our lightning round that we always do. But getting started now, so getting into the technology, some of these features that we're going to talk about have been in the works for a few months. So we've been into it. We've known about them for a while, but it's the first time you guys get to see them. So we're excited. So let's start by talking about what's new for applications. We debuted the applications editor, in last World, so about a year ago in February. Organizations can essentially curate specific data experiences for different groups of users. You might have a library leveraging one dossier, whatever you want. And as we continue the journey with applications, we keep adding new options. So Jose, can you tell us what's new in that realm?
Yeah, so I have 2 things to share. So you're 100% right, Holly. We've been adding a lot to applications in the past few quarters. We added more control over the components that you want to see, the type of home screen, color palettes, things like those, right? But for 11.3.8, for the December release, well, basically, this is my favorite feature, right? I mentioned this as part of your first question. And for applications on 11.3.8, what you are able to do is you can pick how your email template is going to look like, right? So you can think about cases in which you want to, change the branding. You want to change how the colors are going to look like, the buttons, what is the text that you're going to have on each button? What should the subject say, the email body? You can also add like dynamic text. So you can have some additional data coming from MicroStrategy, right? And to me, that's really powerful, right? Because depending on the application that your users are using to interact with the MicroStrategy system, the way that content is delivered to them is completely different, right? I mean, and there's no better, season to introduce this functionality as a holiday season, right? I mean, a lot of presents, so you want to send like really good looking emails telling them that then, they're going to have a good and nice present for them. So to me, that's super powerful. Definitely my favorite feature of 11.3.8. And the second one is something that it is in preview mode for 11.3.8. So we've been going into this regular cadence of releasing features in preview mode, right? And the reason to do this is because we can collect a lot of really valuable feedback from the users, from the customers, incorporate that feedback into the platform before calling the feature GA, right? So in this case, on 11.3.8, what we're doing is that we're adding the ability to configure different authentication modes depending on the application that you're using. So you might have in your organization MicroStrategy system, and some users, they need to connect to it via, standard credentials. And then some others, they need to access that via an SSO mechanism that you have set up, right? Think about, some OIDC configuration, think about some SAML configuration, right? In the past, if you had to do that, well, you most likely would need to have like different systems. But with applications, it's no more complicated than then just setting up the authentication mode per application. So again, that you can have one using certain type of configuration and the other one a different type of configuration, right? And this is a great example of how applications, they go well beyond just the look and feel, right? Applications is all about how do you configure the MicroStrategy experience for your end users, in this case, even including the authentication mechanism that they're going to use.
Yeah, I think that's super powerful because all these users are actually logging into different experiences in the same environment, like Jose said. So the ability to lock it down by a specific login is exceptional, and something that I think differentiates us from different people in the market. All right. So now, speaking of library and applications, we said that applications can use that typical library interface that we're all used to. But I've heard that there is new content available in library. So Erica, can you tell us about the exciting release of MicroStrategy reports?
Yes, we are very excited, Holly, because we have been releasing reports as a preview feature for the last 2 updates. But now finally it's out of the box, it's GA for everyone to try it out. We are very excited about this functionality because you don't have to do anything. Like if you were a already user of reports, you don't have to convert them, you don't have to do anything. You just have to open them and it will be ready for you. The other cool thing is that the whole interface is very similar to Dossier. So if you're a new user and you don't know how to use it, but you're already aware of Dossiers, then you can have like the same interface that you had before. You have the filters, you can add prompts, you can add content into the template, and so on. So we have a lot of functionality there. And then another cool thing that you have there is that you can review the SQL that the report is generating. So if you're into just like checking out what are the joins between the attributes and the tables that you have behind the scenes, you can also do that. So it is a very complete feature. We're super excited to have it. Remember that is in Workstation and in Library. And then, but that's not all, because we have reports and we also released the Freeform SQL reports. So Freeform SQL reports is based on reports, but then if you have an advanced user or you have an advanced use case where you already created some sort of like a SQL statement that goes into your database and creates a bunch of joins, and or you really want to tailor the experience that you want to get, you can put your SQL in there, you can run it, and it will give you the results. So everything is possible now.
Wow, yeah, and we did see, so it is available in mobile, correct? You'd be able to see reports in Library Mobile?
That's correct. Okay. That is correct.
Awesome. Wow, and that's a big one, right? So this is a super critical feature for organizations that currently have hundreds of reports, right, in their daily workflows. And typically we do see that a lot in the public sector here in the United States, but it's also common for financial institutions or hospitals. A lot of people have a lot of reports, and many of our customers who would debate whether to move to Library or the Modern Suite were waiting for this. And reports is the one thing I think that was holding them back. So this addition is super important, right, to modernize the entire experience for you all. And Muna, for government agencies, we have some big news, right? What happened there?
Oh, huge news tied to our customers who are in the private sector, the public sector in particular, and the federal customers. And that is with starting from 11.3.7, customers who are interested in cloud can now leverage the containerized cloud analytics platform, MicroStrategy Cloud for Government, which has FedRAMP authorization. So for context, this is a software as a service platform that has high performance. It carries very sophisticated data privacy and security requirements. And I think over the years, we've had a lot of conversations around the concept of self-service analytics, this idea that you should put data analytics in the hands of everyday users. And with the growth of that, the focus has increasingly and rightfully been on security. And not just in the private sector, but with the public sector as well, where there's quite a bit of regulation. And so with the FedRAMP authorization, there, our customers can have the guarantee with their use of the cloud analytics platform from MicroStrategy that we are integrating and prioritizing security and governance in all the layers of the development lifecycle. The other really integral piece to keep track of is that the FedRAMP authorization occurs on an annual basis, but throughout the calendar year, the cloud team here at MicroStrategy is focused on carrying out regular assessments. They're proactively providing enhancements to any findings that they may come across. And also the MCG, the MicroStrategy Cloud for Government platform, carries all the great and exciting features and products and functionality that Jose and Erica have mentioned with the latest release. And in some cases, actually, with the release of MCG, it did have the very exciting feature insights before the rest of the platform as well.
True.
So for all the customers who are interested and they're in the public sector, please check out MCG.
Yeah. You guys all look so excited. I know you are. We internally have waited a long time for this. So we're excited. I think the process, gosh, so we were sponsored by the Department of Health and Human Services, and we were waiting many months. So we're excited to finally be on the market with MicroStrategy Cloud for Government.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So now we're going to talk Dossier. So everyone's favorite, honestly, across the board. We've made a lot of investment in our freeform canvas over the past few years. We've added new visualizations, grouping, shapes, vertical scrolling, a lot of additions that have extended, right, creative possibilities. And with this specific release, we thought a lot about self-service, about how do we scale all of that and allow users across the board to seamlessly create branded, interactive experiences themselves on their own. And so, Jose, I know we just released Dossier templates. I'm going to let you go into more detail, but what is it all about?
Okay, so yeah, Dossier templates might be the best Dossier feature that we have as part of 11.3.8, right? But we also added a few other things. So same thing that I did for applications, I'm going to be picking my two favorite ones, right? So MicroStrategy World about reusability and ease of use, right? So before talking about templates, let me talk a little bit about another thing. So what we did is that, to your point about introducing a lot of new functionality for Dossiers, we also added information windows to Dossiers, right? And then, you know, we started to create a really good set of demos with it, and then we partnered with customers to modernize their applications. And then one of the things that we realized is that we need to make this easier, like even easier for whoever is creating a dossier, right? So starting on 11.3.8, one of the new things that Dossier creators can do is reuse information windows, right? So again, all about ease of use, all about reusability. You don't have to create multiple information windows if you want to trigger the same content from different visualizations or from different Dossier components, right? So that's one. And then second, yes, my favorite Dossier feature of 11.3.8, right? So Dossier templates. So this is all about self-service. This is about ease of use. And what we are doing with it is that, well, any dossier that you have in your organization can be saved as a template. And on top of that, you can also certify it, right? Making it easier for your users to start creating dossiers. So once you go on 11.3.8 to create a new dossier, you can, before doing anything else, you can pick the template that you want to use as a starting point. You can see if it is certified or if it's not. Once you find the template that you need, then you can select it. And maybe the only thing that you have to do is, you know, modify one or two visualizations, or maybe, you know, change the data, or, you know, just like performing one or two additional manipulations. So again, with this, you can start creating beautiful dossiers in no time, right? Everything is about making the self-service experience much, much better.
Got it. And then is there a limit to templates for dossiers?
There is not. And the cool thing about this is that we understand that different organizations, different enterprises, they have different needs, right? So if you have the right set of privileges, then you can just go and convert any dossier to be saved as a template, so that the rest of the dossier creators can just use that as a starting point.
Got it. Yeah, Dossier templates has been a top requested one for a while now, so it's exciting to see it in action. And it's important to scaling self-service. I think a lot of people, see MicroStrategy as entirely enterprise, but we do have a lot of organizations and users that will capitalize on templates like you just saw. But I'm sure many of you are also wondering what's new for administration. I always ask Erica this, and she always goes into about 10 minutes of new features because they work on so many new things. But Erica, let's shift the focus right to admin and what's new for Workstation. I'm gonna let you get into it.
Yeah, I'm not going to take a long time this time, but first of all, I have to say that like as the admin architect persona, I love templates. It just like speeds up the process. So that's a huge like thank you so much because it will allow you to just control what you're doing and just like give it to the users, and then they can jumpstart their creation of dossiers and so on. So I really like that feature as well. And now for admin, I know that I always get into a lot of features, but for now we have some of the features that are like kind of like small, but they are huge in terms of functionality for the admins, like the cache monitor. We already have the Cube cache monitor, but now we enhance it, and now you can get the reports, documents, and dossiers cache in a monitor. So you can make sure that you are monitoring all those items, make sure that you can purge them, you can filter them, and so on. So it's a very cool functionality for admins to have, something that we didn't have before. Now we have in Workstation. So please make sure to check it out. The other one that I'm going to talk about is the quick search indices. This is also a huge item for admins. Whenever your project is loaded and then you don't see it, you need to check and make sure that you have the 100% of those indexes built so that your users can search through the platform. And so you can manage that through Workstation now. Then another cool feature is the ability to delete projects. I know that this might be like a very small item, but it's also a huge functionality. Yeah. So very simple, right mouse click, delete a project. And finally, my favorite one is the duplicate users. That's a huge one for every admin. I know that there were some customers out there that were like looking for this feature specifically. So we finally have it as a kind of holiday present. So the only thing that you will have to do is just go to the user, right mouse click, and duplicate a user. Very straightforward. You just like change a couple of details, like the username, password, email, and that's it. You got your user. See, it's not that like.
No, that was good.
I usually do so.
No, that's good. And I have actually another favorite admin related Workstation feature that I think it's important to highlight. So with 11.3.8, we have a metadata internationalization, which allows for object translations. And so if you just think about your different use cases, customers likely have a global clientele or a global workforce that requires the localization of content. And in their typical workflows within Workstation or even with Config Wizard, they begin by creating a global BI environment. They create a metadata in a single language. They save objects in that single language in the metadata. Yeah. And so with this feature within Workstation now, administrators have the ability to actually go in, and they have metadata support for all the languages within our glossary. But that means also that they can add new translations there. They can modify translations. They can delete any translations. And so they can make those changes on the fly and really localize their product across the requirements for multilingual customers and employees.
Yeah, this is a huge feature for international customers. They are always looking to do that translation of their metadata, and this is very useful for them.
A lot of new stuff for Workstation then.
Yeah. I know. Yeah,
it's exciting.
I feel like this one might be my favorite. I don't know. It's just like so important. I feel like it's one that people don't obviously always think of, but getting the translations right, I feel like is a critical part of that administrative workflow. All right. Awesome. Yeah, that wasn't bad. That was 5 minutes is a record, I think, for Connect and Workstation features. But the next feature, I guess, that we will be ending on before we jump into questions, we've gotten a lot from the chat, from social media. but we've talked about it before. It's available now to all cloud customers, and that's MicroStrategy Insights. So I'm going to let the PM team talk about it a bit. It is my favorite feature that's rolled out this year. So can you tell us a bit about this and its importance to also what we're doing next in the product vision?
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about MicroStrategy Insights, right, as part of our first release for MicroStrategy Cloud for Government. So one of the advantages of MicroStrategy Cloud for Government is that we keep releasing new stuff every single month, right? And that's the reason why it made it first there. But in 11.3.8, this is available for all of our cloud customers. Now, MicroStrategy Insights is about how do we bring augmented experiences to the MicroStrategy platform, right? How do we be able to, with all the data that we have, using AI and ML, offer you recommendations on what to do next with that data, right? We're able to detect data anomalies, like maybe, you're in the holiday season, you're a retailer, and all of a sudden you see that your sales are declining instead of spiking, right? So that's an outlier for the season. So we are smart enough to let you know when some of these cases occur, when some of these cases happen, and then send you a notification for that, right? And then using natural language, you can understand why something has changed, right? Or what are the things that are being changed and require your attention. So we're pretty excited about this, and then, expanding the reach of this capability, of this MicroStrategy product capability to all of our cloud customers.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And I'm going to ask you a question, Jose, that I get a lot from customers about insights. So let's say they have library. Do they get insights out of the box? Do they need any other products or privileges? How does it work?
So they get it out of the box, but of course, like we can control, as an admin, you can control the experience of your users, right? So there are two things that you can do here. One is we have privileges that control who can add certain KPIs to their insights panel and who cannot do that. And also using applications, you can control the MicroStrategy experience, right? So you might decide that you want an application to offer insights, and you might want to have another application that does not have insights enabled, right? And if I can talk a little bit about also what's coming next for this one, is that, yes, we're super excited about making this available to all of our cloud customers. But, as you were saying, like, what's next, right? So what's next is that we're going to be bringing this concept to more visualizations. But more than that, what I'm super excited about is we have a lot of, semantic graph is super powerful, right? There's a lot of information there. We also have a lot of information with platform analytics, right? So how do we bring like the information that the system has about your users' behavior, about, how they're interacting with the system, and based on that, recommend you more insights, offer you more insights on things that you might not even know about your data, right? So really excited about the future of this, and what we're going to be bringing to the platform next year.
Yeah, really cool. Essentially, like tailoring right insights to specific use cases that you might not be thinking about. That's amazing. What about Hyper? Do you think Hyper will ever have proactive answers?
Hyper is a perfect example of, how do we augment the experience of our users, right? With Hyper, you can bring information to any web application outside of the MicroStrategy platform, right? So that's a super powerful concept. And of course, we're thinking about how to bring insights there.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So that was everything I had to ask you all. And again, those are only some of the features, guys. We have a ton more that we actually didn't talk about, but those were what we wanted to highlight. So now we're going to get into, we have a lot of the questions on chat, so we'll probably start there, and then we'll take some of the questions we saw on social. So let's get into them. So the first one that we have, what about monitoring and administration tools for those SQL cubes and reports? So I think we're referring to what Erica showed about the reports. Okay.
Exactly. We already have that as part of the monitors. So you can have either the cache monitor as part of like the workstation monitors, but we also have the job monitors. So in case they want to take a look at what the actual query is doing and how it is performing, you can just right click on the job and then review the SQL that is executing.
Got it. Nice. All right. Next question. Actually, a great question because I love library, if you don't know that. These are all great, referring to all the features. What are the enhancements related to UI and library? Like, can we view the table of contents pinned to Dossiers always? And also, can we increase the size of the certification badge? That's interesting.
Can we increase the size of certification what?
The certification badge, like on content, I think is what they're referring to.
Oh, yeah, that's a good UI enhancement. So we have some enhancements that, some of them might look small, but definitely they make an impact on the user experience. In terms of library, I think some of the enhancements that we have in the plan right now is to provide more flexibility, more granularity with applications to basically control what your users can see and what's going to be hidden, right? We're, of course, making enhancements on how to pin the panels. So, for example, right now you can pin the table of contents, or you can pin the filter panel, right? But for example, one thing that we are looking into is how do we make that the default, right? Or maybe you want to have it always pinned, right? And not allow your users to unpin the filter panel or the table of contents, right? That's something that we are exploring user applications for an upcoming release. And then, yes, we're also making some adjustments on how the icons look like, and making these enhancements to make sure that the UI looks as polished as possible.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer, Jose. I think again, like we mentioned with applications, there's a whole backlog of how we want to make it even more customizable that will roll out hopefully within the next year or so. But one other thing that they could think about, right, if you're using a dossier as the application base, you could try something like an in-canvas, right, TOC that would always be there for your users.
Right, and that's something that with the open canvas concept of Dossiers, you can create a fully tailored experience, right? Within the canvas itself, you can add all the navigation components. You can add, what your users should see, and then you can even remove the toolbar if you want to provide, type of a website-like experience, and have all the objects as part of your dossier.
Yeah, so a ton of possibilities there. All right, next. Interesting question. Are documents going to be supported in MicroStrategy Cloud for Government?
Well, the MicroStrategy Cloud for Government suite will focus primarily on the modern stack. And so really it'll be leveraging library dossiers. And so as we move documents into library, then that will be available.
Yeah. So right now we started with dossiers. You now saw reports. Reports will be there. But then documents, as I think if you keep watching, we love documents, but again, our whole, and I'll let PM take this over, but we do really focus on modernizing and making everyone kind of move to dossiers when they're ready. So we aren't sunsetting documents,
right?
But
and I think that's a really important point, Holly. Muna was talking about it. MicroStrategy Cloud for Government is bringing our modern stack, right? It's bringing Workstation, it's bringing library, right? And as you start modernizing how you are creating analytics content in your organization, you should explore dossiers, right? And we're working on closing whatever gap is remaining between documents and dossiers, so you have full flexibility within dossiers.
The other thing that I was going to add is that with dossiers, you can tailor and actually do data storytelling. So that's very important because you can target a specific persona, and then just with applications, just make sure that you tailor the content to the persona that you're looking for. So that plus Hyper, that plus Insights will augment all your data. So that's why it's so important to move to the new stack rather than staying on the legacy.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Next question. Are Insights coming to on-prem?
We don't have plans at the moment to bring them to on-prem. So we really encourage you to start exploring cloud and, have a conversation with us about how we can support you on that front.
Also, just to add something to it.
Add some light.
Sorry.
No,
what is so important to just move into the cloud is because we are putting a lot of technology and infrastructure that will take advantage of the cloud that wouldn't be possible to do it on-prem. So the new features and everything that we're putting into the product is taking advantage of the cloud.
That's a great point. With Insights, there was a lot of hard work that our engineering team did. And yes, you're 100% right. We did a lot of, we leverage a lot of the power of the cloud in order to bring you the best possible experience.
Yeah. Generally, also the continuous integration of the suite of products with new products like Insight really provides an efficacy element to your workflows. And with cloud, you're able to leverage that a lot more. So as much as dossiers are absolutely integral to you analyzing and consuming the data, the next step really is to get that additional insight, additional information, additional understanding quite quickly. And with cloud, it's just consistently faster and more efficient in that way.
Yeah, I agree. But everything that the product team is doing is really strategic. So when they're planning on, what deployments to add certain features to, I think a lot of it is forward thinking about what we think will be best for you all in the long run. So just keep that in mind. All right, next, how can we contact the PMs here to ask more questions?
Ooh, it's a good question. Well, if you're an existing customer, reach out to your account executive. We have a pretty close relationship with all the team here, so we can organize a session with you. Dive deep into some additional sessions, some additional topics. We can definitely do that, and I think that would be the best way.
Yeah, I think everyone's pretty open on the PM team. You
yeah,
email
and
them.
you have all the track here of the questions that we're getting, so we can also follow up if needed.
Yeah, we do. We keep track of everything you guys ask, so we'll be able to reach back out. All right, next question. What are future plans for more robust NLQ and NLG capabilities / insights?
I'll take that
that's
one.
a good question.
So
yeah.
That's why, it's part of the reasons why we're excited also about Insights, right? So with Insights, you have natural language generation. You don't have to do anything to get some narrative on how the data has been changing, right? And that's just one example of the investment that we are making on these type of technologies. Getting into next year, definitely we're going to be exploring how to expand with that foundation and see where do we take the product next for NLQ and for NLG.
Awesome. Love it. Okay, next question is a really exciting one. I know Jose is going to think it's fun. Do you support GCP yet?
I didn't take it. Okay. So I guess I'm assigned to answer this one. So we're actively working on this one. We're partnering with a couple of customers, to start developing our offering for GCP. Stay tuned. Later next year, you'll see something on this front. It's something that we're actively working on.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So then 2 other comments that I will take really quick. Community is also there to reach out for if you have questions with experts. That's true. So you can reach out to PM. Community is also a great source if you want to crowdsource for an answer. I think everyone's really great about commenting and helping you there. Second, we had a question about, are there any plans by MicroStrategy to provide an easier / condensed license model? Actually, Muna, I don't know if you want to comment on that, honestly. It's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of room for us to revolutionize how we go about software licensing, just generally within the industry, but also at MicroStrategy. And so we are prototyping internally different variations of how to better package our licensing model and SKUs for customers to be able to just have more flexibility. And in thinking through the different types of users that exist within a BI infrastructure or platform. So regular users versus the anonymous and guest users, how to appropriately license them, how to ensure that there's enough flexibility that they're leveraging the products, assign the right privileges, and the whole compliance aspect of it. So we're actively thinking through that, and hopefully we'll be able to get back to our customers with more information soon.
Yeah. I also think, and they mentioned that, I think other competitors do it as very simple prices. You're able to see the tiers, but MicroStrategy is just so complex when you think about what we offer that it's difficult for us to ever box things in, which is why our modeling is the way it is. So we'll get back to you, but we are working internally on it.
Yeah, and we have a very powerful platform. Our suite of products is quite extensive. It covers a lot of avenues. We're industry leaders in a lot of areas, including the insights and hyperintelligence. And so for us also to just try to simplify it is an interesting challenge, and we are looking to do that.
Love it. Awesome. All right, so that was it for the chat. We're getting into some questions from social media now. So we'll start with one from John. In the product updates email, so Tim's email, I read about undo, redo. Is that new? And is it new across devices, I think?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So we added the undo, redo capabilities across all the library clients. So previously that was available in Library Web and the MicroStrategy application. Now we've expanded those capabilities across all the devices. And so that also includes the Library Mobile iOS as well.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Next, Carrie from New York asked us on Twitter, can I set specific thresholds with MicroStrategy Insights?
I'll take that one. Not at the moment. Right now, you get alerted whenever we detect that there's like a data anomaly, right? So you don't even have to worry about setting thresholds. However, we do understand that it's a common requirement. So what we're doing in the future, we're going to allow you to set the threshold on the KPI. So whenever that threshold is crossed, you're going to get alerted, right? Even if it's just like standard data behavior, you might want to get alerted when, I don't know, like your sales go above, they're greater than X number or they are below X number, you're going to get alerted with that.
Got it. Yeah. And that is something that you guys have considered, right? Is allowing people to set KPIs. I mean, I think we hear that a lot. So good question. Yeah. All right. Next, Emily from the UK. Cool. What makes the new library applications unique compared to others or competitors, I suppose? We kind of talked about some of it. Yeah.
So there are a couple of things. So one, we talk about, how applications can allow you to fully tailor the experience for end users, right? But at the end of the day, applications, they're a first-class object in our metadata. And what that means is that you have all the security layers, all the ACL layers that you have with other MicroStrategy objects. You also have them on applications, right? So what you can do is that you can set who has access to one application, who doesn't have access to another application. As second, these are no-code approach to customize the experience, right? So what you need is just Workstation, and that's it. No manual changes of files, nothing like that. And again, since this is a first-class object in our metadata, it also allows you to migrate applications across environments, right? So you might want to start developing something in your dev environment. You want to test it out. You want to make sure that it actually has everything that it needs. And then when you're ready, then you migrate it to production. And maybe the other thing is that it is, how do you call it? Like, basically, you don't have to worry whenever you are going through an update, right? When you're going through an update, like, it's okay. Like, you don't have to redo any of the changes. Like, as a metadata object, like everything is transferred, everything, just keeps working. So I think it's a really powerful way of customize and configure the experience to the end users.
Yeah. I think from everything you just said, I took away just like easier management. Like it's very seamless and simple.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. And last one that we got incoming from social is from Tyler. So Dossier templates are great. Are there application templates or pre-configured designs that I can find anywhere?
I can take that one. So you can actually use a dossier and then design it to be well within Canvas navigation. And then you can use that one to be your navigation as a general in your application. That's why applications is so great, because you can just like make sure that you reuse a dossier and then make it as a template so that everyone else can use the same template and you can start building on top of it.
Awesome. Yeah. So great features across the board. That's all the questions we had from the audience. I'm ending with one from me for you guys is when is MicroStrategy World and why should everyone come to the event? So I want 3 different perspectives.
So MicroStrategy World will be next year, May. And why everyone should come? Well, first of all, we'll all be there, all the PMs. Great opportunity to actually access additional information and one-on-one interactions on the individuals and teams that lead the development and design of our products. It's a great opportunity also to actually hear from other customers, get their use cases, their success stories, how they've adapted and incorporated the MicroStrategy platform and suite of products into their everyday use. And so it's a phenomenal experience to just actually learn and also workshop your own ideas and see how your use cases are applicable with the entire suite.
Yeah,
I think for me, the best part of going to World is to have that chat, like the one-on-one conversations with different customers, with us, with like the tech team in general, with sales. Like it's a different experience when you're live one-on-one because the conversation happens so dynamically, and then you can start like listening to different points of view and different experiences. Like some customers start sharing, like we start talking, and then the customers start sharing, like, no, this is best because like you can do this, and I have done this. So it's like the sharing experience in general.
So 3 reasons for me. One, I think is basically what Mona Erika said, like, learn from, from the MicroStrategy team. What do we have in the platform right now? What's coming? Learn more about our vision. Also, I mean, to me, really important is what you were saying, Erika, like sharing and learning from other customers, from other, organizations using the MicroStrategy platform. I think that is pretty valuable, right? I mean, it's again an in-person event, so I think the opportunity to learn and share your experiences is awesome. And then the third one is that I'm surprised that none of you mentioned that. You're only thinking about work. Like, come on, it's Orlando in May, right? So
Orlando.
That's a great reason to go as well.
Yeah, sure. We're really excited. We're really excited to see you all again. It's been a while since you've seen us. And again, right now in office, we're all in headquarters right now. For us, it's close to DC, but we have a ton of teams here, right, working on internal projects, our innovative hackathon, as we call it. So they're doing really innovative things, and you might see some of that show up on stage. So like Jose said, you get to see a little bit of our product vision, what we're thinking about. So it's going to be really exceptional. We're doing things a little bit different. So get ready to come. So register. And thank you all for being here today. And thanks everyone for watching. We'll talk to you soon.